Hello, and welcome to the next lesson in the helper videos for the Unit 6, Grade 6 Desmos curriculum. Today's lesson is Unit 1, Lesson 10, Plenty of Polyhedra. In this lesson, we're going to cover what is a prism, what is a pyramid, and what kind of faces do they have and how many. And that's what this lesson is about. So let's get started. All right. First definition, a polyhedron, the plural of which is polyhedra, so you have one polyhedron but three polyhedra, okay? That is a three-dimensional shape that has only flat faces. So if it has any curves at all, it is not a polyhedron. For example, a sphere, which is a ball shape, is curved. Therefore, it is not a polyhedron. Whereas a cube, which is all six flat faces, is a polyhedron. Get the idea? So let's move on. There are two main types of polyhedra that we are going to cover in this lesson, prisms and pyramids. In every case, do you see the top of the pyramid is a point? Point, 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 point. If you were to put your hand down on them, they would hurt. But the tops of the prisms are all flat faces, just like the others. And in fact, if you look at these prisms carefully, see the way the top and the bottom are the same? The top and the bottom are the same. So the definition of a prism is that it has two congruent parallel bases, meaning it has, like this one has a pentagon on the top and a congruent equal size, equal shape, same shape pentagon on the bottom. This one has a triangle on the top and a triangle on the bottom, and those two are congruent. This one has a square on the top and a square at the bottom, and those two are congruent. Same for this one, square on the top, square on the bottom, and they're congruent. This one has a triangle at the top and a triangle at the bottom, and they're congruent. This one has a square and a square at the bottom, although it's hard to see. This one has a rectangle and a rectangle. And of course, those would be the two bases. Even if I put it on its side, it would still be the two bases. In between the two bases, do you see that every face is a rectangle? So two congruent parallel bases with rectangles between. Then let's look at triangles. They do not have two bases, they only have one base. This one has a triangle at the bottom, this one has a square at the bottom, this one has is it a pentagon? Yes, it is. It's a pentagon at the bottom. This one has a hexagon at the bottom. So it has one base, and at the other end is a point, one vertex. A vertex is just a point at the top. Point at the top. But again, if I were to lay it on its side, it would still be a vertex. Get the idea so far? Now, what's on the sides of these? On the sides of the prisms were these rectangles. Are there rectangles on the sides of these pyramids? Let me just erase some of the shading that I did on these and take a look at what the sides of these pyramids are. Do you see what they are? They are triangles. No matter what shape the base is, the sides of the pyramid are triangles. And they kind of have to be because they're coming to a point, and a triangle is a shape that comes to a point, right? So it is one base and one vertex, which is a point at the top, and the sides are triangles. And that's what makes it a pyramid. So prisms have two bases, pyramids have one base. Prisms have rectangles on the sides, pyramids have triangles on the sides. That's what makes them different. Let's look at the next page. So look at these shapes. Are they prisms? Is it a prism? Is it a pyramid? Or is it neither? Okay, well, look. This one has a point on the top and a base at the bottom. Therefore, this is a pyramid. This one has a rectangle on the top, a rectangle on the bottom. They're congruent, and it has rectangles on the sides. So this is a prism. This has a rectangle on the bottom, a rectangle on the top, but they are not the same side, and the sides are not rectangles or triangles, are they? They are, in fact, trapezoids. So this shape is neither. It is not a pyramid because it doesn't have a point at the top. It is not a prism because the two bases are not congruent. It is also not a pyramid because the sides are not triangles, and it is also not a prism because the sides are not rectangles. Get the idea? Okay. So now we'll talk about just prisms for a little bit. What are the faces of a prism? So we'll look at this one first. This is a triangular prism because the bases are triangles. Surprise, surprise. There's a triangle, they're congruent. So how many triangles are in this? There are two triangles because it makes sense. All prisms have two bases. This is a triangular prism, so therefore it will have two triangles as the bases. Now remember, what shape is between? Well, between are rectangles. How many rectangles will it have to have? Well, in this case, it's going to need three rectangles. One to attach to this side, one to attach to this side, and one to attach to this side. A triangle has three sides, therefore a triangular prism has three rectangles, one for each side of the triangle. So what's that? That means there are 5 total. 2 triangles, 3 rectangles, 2 plus 3 makes 5 total. And that's the triangular prism. What type of a prism is this? Well, what shape is that? It has 5 sides. That means it's a pentagon. Therefore, we are dealing with a pentagonal, I want to spell correctly, prism. All right, it has 2 bases. What shape are they? Why, they are pentagons. So it has 2 pentagons as faces. And there are rectangles between, because all prisms have rectangles between. How many rectangles does it have? Well, it has 1 for this side, 1 for this side, 1 for this side, 1 for this side, and 1 for this side. 1 going in this direction, 2 going connected here, 3 connected there, 4 connected there, 5 connected that way, 5 rectangles. How many total? 2 plus 5 makes 7 total. Is this making sense? I hope so. Now, I don't have pictures for these next 2. I just have the word hexagonal prism. Well, what shape are the bases? Hexagons. So there'll be how many bases? There will be 2 bases. So that means there will be 2 hexagons. And there'll be rectangles between, 1 for each side of the hexagon. A hexagon has 6 sides, so therefore there will be 6 rectangles. An octagonal prism. Oh, what's that total? 2 and 6 makes 8 total. Sorry, got that done. All right. Now an octagonal prism, well, it's an octagon, so that means there are 8 sides, and there'll be 2 of them because it's a prism, so 2 octagons. And there'll be an octagon has 8 sides, so that means there'll be 8 rectangles, 1 for each side of the octagon, and 2 plus 8 makes 10 total. And that's how you get the faces of a prism. Let's look at the faces of a pyramid. How many bases does the pyramid have? It has 1 base, so this is a triangular prism, not prism, pyramid. Have to make corrections. All right, so it has 1 base, which is a triangle. And remember that the sides of all pyramids are triangles, and the triangular base has 3 sides, so therefore there will be 3 more triangles on the sides. So in total, there are 4 faces, and in fact, there are 4 triangles, which is unusual, but because pyramids have triangles for the side, if you also have a triangle for the bottom, for the base, then that makes it all triangles, okay? Now, this is not a triangular prism. The shape of the base is a pyramid. The shape of the base is a pentagon, so therefore this is a pentagonal pyramid. So, how many bases does it have? It has 1 base. All pyramids have 1 base. And in this case, the base is a pentagon, so that means it has 1 pentagon. The other sides are all triangles. How many triangles does it have? Well, it has to have 1 for each side of the pentagon. A pentagon has 5 sides, so that means there are 5 triangles. How many total is that? 1 plus 5 makes 6 total. Get the idea? All right, now no visuals here, no picture. It's a hexagon, so it has 1 hexagon, because it has to have a hexagon on the base, and then a hexagon has 6 sides. Hexagon has 6 sides, so therefore it will have 6 triangles, 1 for each side. How many total is that? That's 7 faces total. Octagonal pyramid. I'll give you a moment, figure it out for yourself. Okay, moment's over. It will have 1 octagon, and it will have 8 triangles for a total of 9 faces. Now, did you figure that out for yourself? 1 octagon, because the base is an octagon, and all pyramids have 1 base, so this must have 1 octagon. All the other sides are triangles, and it needs 1 triangle for each side of the octagon. An octagon has 8 sides, so it needs 8 triangles. 1 base, 8 triangles. 1 plus 8 makes 9. And that's the idea from these lessons. If you need any help, please talk to your teacher. That's it. Bye.